Let me ask you something. What would your life look like if you stopped holding yourself back? If you stopped making excuses, stopped listening to the doubt in your head, and decided right now to kill that weak version of yourself? What if today was the day you finally stepped into your power and became the person you were always meant to be? Let me tell you something. If you're waiting for some magical moment where things just start clicking, you're going to be waiting forever. The first thing you need to understand is that everyone has a weak version of themselves. We all have it. It's that version that makes excuses, that version that procrastinates, that version that settles for less than what they know they deserve. But here's the truth. You can't grow unless you confront that version. You have to recognize where you're weak before you can start building yourself into who you truly want to be. The first step to changing is understanding where you're starting from. So look in the mirror and say, I see the weak version of me, but I'm not staying here. Now, once you've recognized that weakness, it's time to stop making excuses. I'm talking about the reasons you've been telling yourself for why you haven't made it yet. I don't have enough time. I don't have the resources. It's too late for me. All of that, it's nonsense. Life doesn't care about your excuses. If you want to kill that weak version of yourself, you need to own your life, take responsibility for it, and stop blaming anything or anyone for where you are right now. It's on you. Your success or failure. It's all yours, but here's the kicker. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. If you want to kill that weak version, you've got to be willing to step out and face the unknown. Every time you feel fear or doubt, that's your chance to grow. That's your opportunity to push through. You see, growth only comes from discomfort. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. So stop running from what challenges you. Step into it and make that weak version of yourself vanish. You've also got to stop letting excuses run your life. Don't give yourself permission to quit before you even start. Every time you tell yourself, I can't, that's the weak version of you talking. The strong version of you is the one that says, I'm going to figure it out, and then goes to work. Because here's what I know. When you stop making excuses, you give yourself the power to succeed. And that's what kills the weak version. Listen to me. Your circle matters. If you're surrounded by people who are stuck, who don't believe in growth, or who just don't push you to be better, you're going to stay stuck with them. If you want to kill that weak version of yourself, you've got to find the people who will challenge you, encourage you, and demand more from you. Surround yourself with those who are as hungry for success as you are. People who will lift you up, not drag you down. But here's the most important part. None of this matters unless you commit to consistent action. A big change, a major transformation, doesn't happen overnight. It happens through small, consistent efforts. You've got to get up every day and commit to improvement, even if it's just a little bit. You see, the weak version of you is the one who says, I'll do it tomorrow. The strong version is the one who says, I'll get better today, no matter how small the step. So here's the deal. If you want to kill that weak version of yourself, you've got to be willing to face the truth, stop making excuses, step out of your comfort zone, surround yourself with the right people, and commit to doing the work every single day. When you do that weak version, it won't stand a chance. Let me tell you something. The first thing you've got to do when you start this journey is to recognize your weaknesses. Now, I know that ain't the most comfortable thing to hear, but it's the truth. If you're out here pretending you don't have flaws, that's the first place you're going wrong. Everybody has weaknesses, and they are not some kind of secret. They are staring you right in the face. But here's the catch. You can't fix what you won't face. You can't fix what you're afraid to admit. The reason a lot of people stay stuck, the reason they can't seem to level up, is because they refuse to confront the weak version of themselves. They act like it doesn't exist, but deep down they know it does. So I'm here to tell you today, it's okay to have weaknesses. It's okay to have areas where you fall short. But the problem comes when you ignore them, when you allow them to sit there and control you. That's the version of yourself you need to kill. The weak one that's too scared to look in the mirror and say, "I've got work to do." If you can't see where you're struggling, how can you ever expect to overcome it? You've got to be honest with yourself. Step one in killing that weak version of you is to stop running from the truth. Acknowledge your weaknesses. I'm not telling you to sit around and dwell on them. No, what I'm telling you is this. See them, face them, and know that those weaknesses are simply opportunities for growth. Weaknesses aren't something to be ashamed of. They're something to work on. Everyone has them. Whether it's procrastination, fear, self, doubt, bad habits, or any other obstacle that's keeping you from getting to where you want to be. The sooner you admit to yourself that you've got things to work on, the quicker you can take action to fix them. Let's get real for a second. How many times have you said, "I'm going to do it tomorrow," but then tomorrow comes and you're still stuck in the same place? Or how many times have you said, "I'll start next week," only for the next week to come and go, and you're still no closer to your goal than you were before? That's the weak version of you talking. That's the part of you that doesn't want to face the fact that the reason you're not where you want to be is because of your own habits and actions, or lack of them. But when you finally admit that to yourself, that you're the one holding you back, that's when you can really start making moves. It's about getting real with yourself. The more honest you are about where you are, the faster you can get to where you want to be. No one is perfect. No one gets it all right from the start. But every successful person you look up to, they've been through the struggle. They've had to face their weaknesses head on, and they've had to work through them. They didn't get there by pretending they didn't have flaws. They got there because they chose to be better, even when they didn't feel like it. So, what are your weaknesses? Be honest with yourself. Maybe you've been too comfortable, too afraid to take risks, too complacent with where you are. Maybe you've been hiding behind excuses, telling yourself you're too busy, too old, too young, or too inexperienced. Stop it. Those are your weaknesses talking. The key is recognizing them, facing them, and doing the work to change them. This isn't about being perfect. This is about being real with yourself and deciding to be better. When you take a hard look at where you are, and you admit that you've got work to do, that's when you take the power back. That's when you stop letting the weak version of yourself control your life. You've got to get serious about your growth. If you can't see the weak version of yourself, if you refuse to admit where you're falling short, you're never going to change. But once you do, that's when you start to evolve. That's when you can take that first step toward the person you're meant to be. So look at yourself, face that weakness, and make a decision. I'm not staying here, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Let me tell you something else that will change the game for you. You have to take full responsibility for your life, and I'm talking about all of it. Stop right there. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming your circumstances, and stop blaming bad luck. You can't keep playing the victim card and expect to win. If you want to kill that weak version of yourself, it starts with owning your life, your decisions, and your actions. Every single one of them. You know what I hear too often. I can't because of my past. I'm stuck because of my upbringing. Things are too tough for me right now. I'm telling you, I get it. Life isn't always fair. But let me ask you this. When are you going to stop letting those excuses run your life? When are you going to stop letting your past dictate your future? It's time to stop blaming other people or situations for where you are right now. You have to take full responsibility. That means you take ownership of your failures. You don't point the finger at anyone else. You know why? Because those failures are your lessons. They're the things that teach you what not to do next time. They're not some obstacle in your way. They're the stepping stones to your success. You can't grow if you're too busy pointing fingers at everyone else. And if you're really honest with yourself, you know that you're the one who holds the power to change. You're the one who decides what's next. You have to look at every setback, every mistake, and every hardship and say, that's on me. I might not have been perfect, but I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to do better. There's no growth in sitting around blaming others. There's no transformation in complaining about what you don't have. The minute you stop making excuses and start taking full responsibility for your life, that's when things start to change. Don't get me wrong, I understand that life can throw you some curveballs. We all go through tough times. We've all had situations that make us question everything, but here's the thing. Your power is in your response. Life might not always be fair, but you have control over how you respond to what happens. You can choose to get bitter and let those challenges keep you stuck in the same place, or you can choose to rise above them and use them to fuel your growth. That decision, that's all on you. Here's the truth. When you keep blaming other people or external circumstances, you're giving away your power. You're handing someone else the keys to your future, and you can't expect to move forward if you keep handing out control like that. When you take responsibility for your life, when you decide that everything that happens from here on out is your choice, you step into your power. That's when you start making real progress. But it's not just about taking responsibility for the bad stuff. You've got to take ownership of your successes too. A lot of people get caught up in the habit of downplaying their victories. They might have achieved something great, but they don't want to own it. They tell themselves it wasn't that big a deal, or I was just lucky. Let me tell you something. When you accomplish something, it's because you did the work, you made it happen. You deserve to stand up and take credit for your hard work. You see, success isn't just about the big moments. It's about the daily decisions you make, the little things that add up over time. Taking full responsibility means looking at every choice, every action, and saying, that was me. And when you claim that responsibility, you stop relying on external factors to determine your worth. You don't need permission from anyone to be great. You already have everything you need inside of you. But you've got to own it. It's all about mindset. When you own your decisions, your actions, your successes, and your failures, you build a mindset that says, I am in control. You start to realize that you don't need to wait for things to fall into place. You make them fall into place. You don't sit back and let life happen to you. You stand up and make life happen for you. So it's time to stop with the excuses. Stop blaming anyone or anything for where you are. When you own your life, when you take full responsibility for every part of it, you unlock your potential. You realize you have the power to change your circumstances, to rise above the challenges, and to become the person you've always known you could be. Now, that weak version of yourself, it doesn't stand a chance. I'm about to hit you with something that might sting a little, but trust me, it's what you need to hear. You've got to get out of your comfort zone. Let me tell you, nothing, and I mean nothing, happens when you're sitting in the same spot, feeling safe, feeling comfortable. We've all been there telling ourselves, I'm good here, this is enough, but deep down we know that's not true. You're never going to grow if you don't get uncomfortable. You've got to challenge yourself, and I don't just mean once in a while. I mean every single day. The weak version of you is the one that stays stuck. The strong version, the one that's waiting to show up, is the one that takes risks, the one that pushes through the discomfort and says, I'm ready for more. Listen, the truth is, growth only happens in discomfort. It's not going to happen while you're sitting on the couch, chilling, watching Netflix, thinking you're going to get to the next level of your life without breaking a sweat. That's not how it works. Nothing in this world worth having comes easy. You've got to get up, step outside your comfort zone, and take action even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard, think about it for a second. Think about the last time you did something that made you nervous. Maybe it was speaking in front of a crowd. Maybe it was starting a new job. Maybe it was asking someone for something you wanted, and you were scared to death. But once you did it, once you pushed past that fear, what happened? You grew, didn't you? You learned something about yourself that you didn't know before. That discomfort you felt, that's where the magic is. That's where the growth happens. You won't see it right away, but if you keep pushing past those moments, you'll start to realize something. You're capable of more than you thought. It's easy to tell yourself, I'm not ready for that, or I don't have enough experience, or what if I fail? But let me tell you, failure is not the end. It's part of the process. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. You see, when you step outside of your comfort zone, you're giving yourself permission to fail, but you're also giving yourself permission to win. You can't get to the next level without embracing the possibility of failure. And more importantly, you can't grow if you're too scared to take that step forward. So stop waiting for the perfect moment, because there's no such thing. The perfect moment is right now. It's in that uncomfortable place where you feel unsure, where you feel like you don't have all the answers. But you take the step anyway. Think about all the things you've accomplished in your life. What got you to where you are? Was it sitting around being comfortable? Or was it the times when you said, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to give it a shot. Every time you've pushed yourself, that's when you've grown. And when you stop growing, you start dying. So if you want to kill the weak version of yourself, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to stop avoiding the very thing that's holding you back. But here's the thing. Discomfort doesn't mean suffering. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're doing it right. It's that little voice in your head telling you, you can't do this. That's the sign you need to pay attention to. That's the moment you say, watch me. Don't wait for the perfect situation. Don't wait for things to line up just right. The opportunity is in front of you now, and the only thing that's standing in your way is your comfort zone. You can't become the person you're meant to be if you're constantly playing it safe. You can't kill that weak version of yourself if you're too afraid to face the unknown. You've got to step out, and you've got to take risks. Now, I'm not saying be reckless, but I am saying stop playing it safe all the time. It's time to go after what you really want. If you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same results. You want change. You've got to make it happen. And that happens when you embrace discomfort. Now, I know it's not easy. It's not supposed to be. The moments that matter the most, the moments that change your life, are the ones where you say, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to try anyway. You know why. Because growth isn't about playing it safe. Growth is about pushing past your fears and getting a little uncomfortable. But that discomfort, it's what transforms you. It's what helps you become the person you were always meant to be. So don't wait. Step out of your comfort zone. Face the unknown. Take the risk. Do it afraid. Do it uncertain, but do it. That weak version of you, it's gone as soon as you make that move, and that strong version, the one that's ready to break through, it's waiting for you to show up. Let me tell you something, and this is something you need to hear loud and clear. Stop making excuses. I don't care how good they sound or how convincing they are. They're not helping you. Excuses are nothing more than the stories we tell ourselves to avoid doing the work, to avoid facing the truth, and to avoid stepping up. But let me break it down for you. Every time you make an excuse, you're telling the universe that you're not ready for success, that you're not ready for growth, and that weak version of you, that's the one that makes excuses. The strong version, the one that's ready to rise, they don't have time for excuses. I know. It's easy to fall into that trap. We've all been there. You tell yourself, I don't have enough time. I don't have the money. I don't have the skills. And on it goes. The list of reasons why you can't do something seems endless. But let me ask you something. How's that working for you? How's staying in that place of I can't working out? Because I'm telling you, it's not going to get you anywhere. You can't keep waiting for the stars to align. You can't keep waiting for the perfect conditions. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will never be a moment when everything falls into place just right. If you're waiting for that, you'll be waiting forever. And while you're waiting, you're letting that weak version of yourself hold you back. Look, I get it. Life throws curveballs, things get tough, and it can feel like the odds are stacked against you. But let me remind you of something. Everybody has challenges, everybody. Nobody's life is without struggle. But the difference between the people who succeed and the people who stay stuck is the way they handle those challenges. The successful people don't make excuses. They don't blame circumstances. They figure out a way, and that's the mindset you've got to adopt if you want to kill the weak version of yourself. You've got to stop looking for reasons why you can't and start finding reasons why you can. You see, when you make excuses, you're giving yourself permission to stay right where you are. Excuses are comfort. They keep you stuck in the same patterns, in the same routines. They let you off the hook for doing the hard work. They let you sleep in when you know you should be getting up early. They let you procrastinate and tell yourself, I'll get to it later. But here's the thing. Later never comes. Every time you put it off, every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you're pushing your dreams further and further away. You're allowing that weak version of yourself to take the wheel, and let me tell you, if you don't take control of your life, someone or something else will. Now, I'm not saying things won't get tough. I'm not saying there won't be moments when you want to throw in the towel. But here's the difference. Successful people don't give in to those feelings. They acknowledge the challenges, but they don't let them define them. They get up, face the struggle, and keep moving forward. You've got to get to that place in your life where you say, yeah, it's hard right now, but I'm going to push through anyway. And you do it no matter what. Let's be real here, excuses are just fears dressed up in fancy clothes. They sound good, they feel good, but deep down, you know they're just holding you back. What you're really afraid of is failing, isn't it? You're afraid of not making it. You're afraid of putting yourself out there and falling flat on your face. But here's the thing. Every failure is just a lesson. Every time you fall, you learn something new. So stop fearing failure and start embracing it. The only real failure is the one where you don't learn anything. And you can't learn if you're sitting there making excuses for why you're not moving forward. You've got to make a decision today, right now, that you're done with excuses. You've got to stop looking for reasons why you can't and start looking for ways you can. That weak version of you, it's the one that makes excuses. The strong version of you is the one that figures it out. You can do this. You've got everything you need inside of you to make it happen. But you've got to stop waiting for the perfect moment. You've got to stop putting it off. You've got to stop telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. So I'm telling you now, no more excuses. Don't let them control you. Take responsibility for your life. Make the choice to rise up. Don't let the weak version of yourself make excuses for you anymore. It's time to take charge, it's time to get to work, and it's time to kill that weak version once and for all. Here's another big one, and this one's real important. Stop surrounding yourself with people who hold you back. I'm telling you, the people you choose to have in your life can either lift you up or drag you down. The weak version of yourself tends to attract people who are on the same level. People who aren't really pushing for greatness. People who are okay with being comfortable. People who let you make excuses and stay stuck. But let me tell you something. If you want to level up, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you've got to surround yourself with people who challenge you, people who inspire you, people who believe in more for you than you even believe for yourself. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but these are my friends, my family. How can I just walk away from them? And I'm not saying you have to cut people off left and right. What I am saying is this. You need to be aware of who you're spending your time with. You need to recognize that not everyone is going to be able to go with you on this journey. Not everyone is going to be supportive of your growth, and that's okay. But the minute you allow people who don't have your best interests at heart, the minute you let people who aren't pushing for anything more than what they've already got, you're keeping that weak version of yourself alive. It's hard to rise when you're surrounded by people who are content with staying the same. If you're the smartest person in the room all the time, it's time to find a new room. If you're the only one striving for more, it's time to get with a new crowd. You need people who are going to push you to think bigger, to work harder, and to dream wilder. You need people who are going to hold you accountable, who aren't afraid to call you out when you're slacking, but also the ones who will be there to cheer you on when you win. And listen, I get it. It can be tough to let go of certain people, especially if they've been in your life for a long time. But here's the truth. When you surround yourself with people who aren't on the same wavelength, all they're doing is holding you back. You can't grow if you're stuck in a place where no one is challenging you to get better. Think about it like this. You wouldn't get in a race car and let someone who's never driven tell you how to go faster, right? No, you'd want someone who knows the track, someone who's been there before, someone who can teach you how to hit the accelerator and take things to the next level. And that's exactly what you need in your life. A support system that isn't just about agreeing with you all the time, but one that's willing to challenge you, push you, and help you grow. You need people who are going to raise your standards, not lower them. You need to surround yourself with those who see the greatness in you when you can't see it for yourself, and who will help you get to places you didn't even think were possible. But here's the thing. If you're holding on to relationships that are toxic, or relationships where you're the only one pushing forward, you're doing yourself a disservice. You've got to get around people who are playing at a higher level, people who are going to stretch you, who are going to make you think bigger and act bolder. You can't keep hanging around people who keep telling you that's too much, that's too big, or you can't do that. Those people will keep you small, and the weak version of you, they love that. They love to hear those doubts and those limitations because it makes them feel justified, but you've got to shut that down. You need people in your life who push you to be better. So, take a good look at the people around you. Are they helping you grow? Are they pushing you to be better? Are they challenging your thinking and your actions? Or are they just comfortable letting you stay stuck in the same old patterns? If it's the latter, it's time to make a change. You don't have to be mean about it, but you've got to start being intentional about who you let into your circle. Remember this, the people you surround yourself with will either lift you up or pull you down. And if you want to kill that weak version of yourself, you've got to start choosing people who are going to help you rise. Now, I know it's not always easy. I know it can be hard to let go of people you care about, but let me ask you this. What's more important, staying comfortable and staying the same, or growing, evolving, and becoming the best version of yourself? The decision is yours. But if you want to kill that weak version of yourself, if you want to be the person you were meant to be, it's time to start surrounding yourself with the kind of people who will help you get there. You deserve to be around people who make you better. So, let's start making that happen. Now, let me leave you with this one last thing that can truly change the game for you. You've got to believe in yourself. Now, I'm not talking about the type of belief that's surface level or conditional. I'm talking about the kind of belief that you carry deep in your bones, the kind that fuels every decision you make, the kind that says no matter what the world throws at you, you will never quit on yourself. If you're still holding on to that weak version of yourself, it's because you're not fully believing in the power that you have within you. The strongest version of you, that person knows without a doubt that they are capable of achieving anything they set their mind to. And I'm telling you, it's time for you to start believing that, too. Too many of us, myself included at times, have allowed doubt to creep in. We've listened to that little voice in our head telling us we're not good enough, that we don't have the skills, that we don't have the experience, or that we're just not cut out for success. And here's the thing, that's the weak version of you talking. That's the version of you that's stuck in fear, in limitations, and in comfort. But when you truly believe in yourself, when you understand and embrace your own worth and capability, you silence that voice. You stop letting it control your decisions and your future. Listen to me carefully. Believing in yourself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And when you believe in yourself, you take ownership of your potential. You stop waiting for someone else's approval, for someone else's validation, for someone else to tell you that you're ready. No one is going to believe in you the way you need to believe in yourself. The world might tell you all kinds of things about what you can and can't do, but you've got to be the one to prove them wrong. Your belief in yourself is your most powerful asset. It's the fuel that will get you through the darkest times and push you to keep going when everything else tells you to quit. But here's the hard truth, you can't fake it. You can't just talk about believing in yourself. You've got to feel it deep down. And that starts with recognizing your own strength. You are stronger than you think. You've been through things in life that should have broken you, but you're still standing. You've faced challenges that should have made you give up. But here you are, still fighting, still pushing forward. So tell me, what else do you need to believe that you've got what it takes? You've already proven to yourself that you can overcome anything. You've survived the tough times, the heartbreaks, the disappointments. You've made it this far, and now it's time for you to believe in the person who's gotten you through it all. You, the moment you start truly believing in yourself, is the moment your world starts to shift. You begin to make decisions that reflect your worth. You stop settling for less. You stop doubting your abilities. You stop looking for excuses and start looking for opportunities. You see, belief isn't about knowing everything or having all the answers. Belief is about trusting that you can figure it out, no matter the challenge. It's about knowing that every setback is just a setup for your comeback. It's about realizing that you are in control of your destiny, and that no one else gets to define your potential but you. I want you to think about the times in your life when you didn't believe in yourself, when you let self-doubt take the wheel. What happened? Most likely you hesitated. You played it safe. You missed opportunities because you didn't trust in your ability to handle them. But now I want you to think about the times when you went after something with full belief in yourself, when you said, "I can do this," and you gave it everything you had. What happened then? Most likely you surprised yourself. You achieved things you never thought possible because you believed you could. That's the power of self-belief, and the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. And here's the kicker. The more you believe in yourself, the more other people will start to believe in you. People are drawn to confidence, to conviction, to someone who knows their worth and isn't afraid to show it. When you carry that belief with you, you attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances into your life. People want to be around someone who believes in themselves because it's contagious. Your belief in yourself becomes the foundation for everything else you want to achieve. So today, right now, make a choice. Choose to believe in yourself with everything you've got. No more second guessing. No more waiting for the stars to align. You are ready. You've always been ready. The weak version of you is the one that doubts, that questions, that hesitates. The strong version of you, the one that's destined for greatness. They believe, and they believe with every fiber of their being. If you want to kill that weak version and become the person you were always meant to be, it starts with believing that you can. Believe in yourself. The rest will follow. So here's the bottom line, folks. You've got everything you need inside of you right now to kill that weak version of yourself. But it's going to take work. It's going to take courage. It's going to take getting uncomfortable, making tough decisions, and most importantly, it's going to take you believing in yourself like never before. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. the perfect conditions, or the perfect set of circumstances to make your move. There's no more room for excuses. There's no more room for fear or self-doubt. You've got to take control of your own life. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and step into the greatness that's already inside of you. I know it won't be easy. I know there will be moments where you'll want to quit, where you'll question if it's worth it. But let me tell you something. Nothing worth having comes easy. You're going to face challenges, but those challenges are what will help you grow, what will shape you into the strong version of yourself that you were always meant to be. So today, make that decision. Kill the weak version of you. Get uncomfortable. Stop making excuses. Believe in yourself with everything you've got. And never, ever settle for anything less than the greatness you're capable of. You are more than enough, and it's time to show the world exactly what you can do. The time to rise is now. Go out there and make it happen.